In a quiet little town, nestled between the hills and far from the chaos of cities, there was a small park, where every evening an elderly couple could be seen walking hand in hand, their pace slow but steady, their hearts still beating with the rhythm of young love. The townspeople affectionately called them the couple of forever, because, even in their wrinkles and gray hair, there was a spark of something timeless, something that no age could wither. They were Rashid and Fatima, childhood companions who had grown up in the same neighborhood, shared the same classroom, played beneath the same trees, and over the years, their friendship had bloomed into a deep, soul-anchored love that neither poverty nor time could diminish. From the very beginning, Rashid knew he wanted to marry Fatima, not because she was beautiful, though she was, but because her presence made his world make sense. And Fatima, always gentle yet strong, admired Rashid's courage, his honesty, and his unwavering devotion. And when they finally married, it was not with grand feasts or gold-laden ceremonies, but with a quiet promise between two hearts that they would walk every road of life together, no matter how rough or steep. Life wasn't easy for them. Rashid worked as a humble clerk at a government office, and Fatima was a homemaker, stitching clothes for neighbors to earn a little extra. Yet neither of them ever complained, because their wealth was in their togetherness. They had 3 children who grew up and left 4 foreign lands in search of better lives, and though Rashid and Fatima missed them dearly, they never let the absence turn into bitterness. Instead, they filled their days with memories, daily routines, evening walks, and cups of chai under the banyan tree in the park. And every single evening, no matter the season, Rashid would hold Fatima's hand and walk beside her like they were still talking about old friends, silly mistakes, first love letters, and long-forgotten dreams. Their laughter was soft but deep, like the sound of leaves brushing in the breeze, and even silence between them was warm, for it was filled with the presence of someone who truly understood your soul. However, as time passed, the seasons began to take their toll, and one day, Fatima hesitantly told Rashid, "I think I'm forgetting things," to which he chuckled and replied, "Then forget the times I made you cry, and remember only our laughter." But beneath his playful tone, a storm began to brew. Soon, Fatima's forgetfulness grew. She would leave the stove on, forget where she kept her glasses, confuse days, then names, and eventually even forget that she had already eaten. They visited the doctor, who confirmed what Rashid feared: early onset, Alzheimer's. It was as if someone had pierced his heart slowly and silently. But Rashid didn't cry, not in front of Fatima. Instead, he held her closer, spoke to her more softly, and smiled more frequently. As if his love could shield her from the disease's cruel grip, he began to write everything down for her, label cupboards, make photo albums with names under each picture, and retell her their love story every morning, from the day he first saw her in school with ribbons in her hair, to the night he kissed her hand under the stars after their wedding. And although Fatima forgot most of the words, there were moments brief and beautiful, where she'd look at him with teary eyes and say, "I know you. I feel like I've loved you all my life." And Rashid would hold her hand and whisper, "You still do, my love." Every day became a test of patience, every moment a prayer, yet Rashid never once complained. He bathed her when she forgot how, fed her when she refused to eat, sang to her when she was restless, and most importantly, he kept walking with her every evening to the park, guiding her steps, pointing out the flowers, and telling her the same stories again and again, as if each retelling added another thread to their bond. The townspeople watched, some with admiration, others with tears in their eyes, for it was rare to witness such enduring love, a love that asked for nothing in return, that only gave, healed, and stayed. And then came a day when Fatima no longer recognized even her own reflection, her gaze empty, her expressions blank. Yet whenever Rashid held her hand, a calm would come over her, like her soul remembered what her mind had lost. She no longer spoke much, mostly smiled faintly or remained quiet, but Rashid continued to sit beside her, telling her about their children, about the blue sari she wore on their anniversary, and the first time she cooked biryani that made the whole neighborhood jealous. Sometimes she would chuckle, sometimes she would weep, but always, Rashid was there, anchoring her drifting self with his presence. And then, one winter morning, as the fog laid heavy over the park, Rashid awoke to find Fatima still, her eyes closed, her hands cold, yet on her lips was the softest smile he had seen in years. He held her for hours silently, not speaking, not weeping, just watching. her as if he was memorizing her peaceful face forever, and when the doctor came and confirmed what Rashid already knew in his heart, he kissed her forehead and whispered, "You remembered me in the end. Thank you." Because he believed, no, he knew, that in her final breath, something eternal had stirred inside her, some spark that had connected them again. After the funeral, when friends and family went back to their lives, Rashid didn't change his routine. Every evening, he went to the same park, sat on the same bench, and ordered 2 cups of tea. One for him, and one for her. He placed her cup beside him and sipped as slowly, as if she were still there, listening, laughing, teasing him about holding the cup too tightly. When people asked him why, he would say, "She may not be here in body, but our story didn't end with her last breath. Love like ours, doesn't die, it just changes form." Even as months passed and his health declined, Rashid never missed a single evening, until one day he, too, didn't return home, and the caretaker of the park found him peacefully leaning on the bench, a faint smile on his face, with 2 empty teacups placed neatly beside him, and so, the couple of forever was reunited beyond time, beyond memory, beyond life, proving that true love doesn't need perfect minds, young bodies, or grand gestures. It only needs a promise kept, a hand held, and a heart that chooses to stay, even when everything else fades into dust.